you need to relate the words to known words. You also need to make sure that the students know that one word can have several different meanings. Like money can be euros, pounds, anything basically like dough, cash, whatever. And you want to use the vocabulary word over and over and over again. I mean, you want them to be able to say it in their sleep. At about the middle grade level, they should be able to start understanding Greek and Latin affixes, which would pretty much go into the decoding part, because Greek and Latin are not the language that they're speaking. So they won't be able to use the standard rules to identify what biology is. Bio meaning life and ology meaning the study of. They would not be able to get that with context clues. So for that you have to pretty much, they have to skip most of the levels of comprehension for that. But there's different types of vocabulary, like meaning vocabulary is the sum total of a person's understanding of the meaning of the words. Reading vocabulary, which are words that are recognized and understood while reading. Basic words, which are the building blocks of everyday languages, like the I, has, and stuff like that. General utility words are the more complex terms that proficient readers and speakers often use. And the general is also part of the academic language. So this is where democracy, onomatopoeia, and all that would come into play. Low utility words are the words that are used less commonly and are found. Well, I'm sorry. This is the one. Low utility words are the content area. My mistake. When you're doing vocabulary, you want to go for depth and connections. Like I said, you want them to know the word like the back of their hand. The levels of vocabulary recognition are: I have never saw that word before. I have heard, seen that word, but don't know what that means. I recognize the word in context, or it has something to do with. And then the final one is I know the word. Of course, we're going for the I know the word, but recognizing the word in context is pretty good. But we want to go for that higher level. Like I was saying, with when you're teaching vocabulary, you want to make it more interesting than just sitting down and writing on a piece of paper, writing the definition. You don't want to go for repetition here. You want to go for understanding. Using the word in speech is a good way to learn the word, yes. And that's the way you want to use it while teaching it, but you don't want that to be your only strategy for teaching this.
Hey, wait, if you can, speed up just.
I'm almost done. The six steps for comprehensive vocabulary is you want to relate new words to words they already know. With background knowledge, make it relevant. Then you want to be able to use the context clues to figure out partially known words. Consult a resource when necessary, like a dictionary. Learn to determine the meanings of polysemic words, words with multiple meanings. Infuse new vocabulary into writing and speaking. Commit to learning new words. And graphic organizers are also another good way. Alright, and I'm done.
Okay. Good morning. My name's Kathleen Snyder, and I will be talking about writing. This includes what abilities we should expect at the middle school level, how you can assess writing in the classroom, strategies for effectively teaching writing, and technology that you can use to address common learning problems. But first, how does writing fit into the larger concept of literacy? Well, reading and writing are reciprocal patterns, so when students write, they're taking the components of literacy, such as vocabulary, decoding, comprehension, and fluency, and putting it to practice. So a fundamental goal of fostering writing fluency is to focus on the interrelatedness of reading and writing. So what abilities should you expect at the middle school level? At every level, you should look for the 6+1 traits of writing. And you can also look at the writing standards for each grade level to see where your students should be at. Another thing you can look at are writing assessment rubrics. In order to assess writing skills in the classroom, you should incorporate formative assessment into everything that you're doing, so you should always be assessing their writing. You can do this with conferencing, and to make it easier on you, instead of having all of your students write a big paper at the end of the semester and you have to read the paper and check for every part of the writing process and 6+1 traits, you can assess individual pieces of the writing process at a time, so you break it up into smaller parts. Another good way to assess their writing is to teach children how to self-assess and with peer assessment. Some good strategies for teaching writing in the classroom. You want to focus on the writing process, which is planning, pre-writing, composing, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. And students need direct teaching at every stage of this process. You can hold writers' workshops and group sharing so they can practice writing and presenting their ideas. Also want to focus on the 6+1 traits of effective writing, which are ideas, voice, sentence fluency, organization, word choice, conventions, and presentation. So other things you can do are teacher modeling of good writing, dialogue journals, and the iSearch process. So finally, what technology can you use to assist with common reading or common writing problems? So you can use technology. So if students are having trouble coming up with ideas, they can search the internet. Also, if students lack skills in good handwriting or spelling, that can interfere with their writing, so they can use word processing programs to put all their ideas down. And so this is something like Microsoft Word. And then they'll also have a thesaurus and a dictionary to help them. If they have no ideas on what to write about, you can give them prompts. If they have too many ideas, encourage them to write about what they know most about. And this isn't even technology anymore, so I can stop. Done.
All right.